Hey guys, welcome back to Looks with Ariel. Welcome back, my looky-loos. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. It's kind of just been a little bit crazy in my life lately, so I just really haven't had the time to upload. And so, yeah, I mean, if you see the thumbnail today, you know that I have lost my job. And that's okay. I mean, I know this is a crazy time that we're in. I mean, yesterday in Chicago, the mayor announced that we were going back to stage 3 for our COVID regulations. So stuff happens. But that's okay. So today's just going to kind of be like a get ready with me, like Zoom interview, makeup look, ways to stand out sort of video. So if you're interested in what I have to put on my face today, keep watching. So yeah, I'll be right back with my face, like my base done, and then we'll get down to the makeup look, or the eye looks rather. So alright guys, welcome back. So as you can see, I did my face, looks a little bit more cleaner and sharper and nicer. My nose, I don't know what the hell's going on with that today, but that is okay. So yeah, as I said earlier in my video that I lost my job. I'm in the hunt for a new one. I had a couple of interviews yesterday, via Zoom or FaceTime or whatever, you know, was the preferred method. It's only been about a week that I've been let go. Actually, today's been a week since I've been let go. And so, you know, with that job, that's totally okay. I wasn't as in tune with that job as I probably should have been. I did my job for sure, and I went above and beyond for them, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. I noticed that, you know, about a year into that job, it wasn't what I was looking for, so I had always been looking for jobs elsewhere, and I had a couple interviews during my time there. I actually did get a job with a sports and entertainment industry, or in the sports and entertainment industry just before the pandemic hit, and that ended up not going anywhere just because of the pandemic. They weren't making any new hirings. So yeah, we're gonna get ready with me a little bit today. I'm gonna probably talk to you a little bit about, you know, my schooling and background and all that stuff, and you know, just to try to give you guys hope that it's no big deal. You can always find something new. You know, I haven't found anything new yet, but I have hope that I will. So that's kind of what my theme is going to be here today, just to give you some positivity and light. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Morphe palette, the 3502 palette, and I'm going to be using the Slytherin palette. That's the collaboration that Ulta did with Harry Potter earlier this summer. And so I'm going to be dipping into the shade Stone for like a nice neutral base at the bottom here. And I have my little Sephora mirror that I'm just going to use. So the reason why we're doing more of like a neutral look is just because it is a job interview. You don't want to like go on an interview looking like super crazy and weird. But I will say that I'm going to punch this look up just a little bit. Because you do want to stand out a little bit at interviews. You know, maybe it's not always going to be you as a one-on-one on the interviews, because a lot of people are looking for jobs, and so sometimes companies can get overwhelmed with all the applications that they receive, and so, you know, they will sometimes have to do like a 5-on-1 interview where it's 5 candidates and, you know, 1 HR person or whoever's hiring. So that happened to me Monday and yesterday. I thought I was going in for a one-on-one interview, and it ended up being me and, like, the first time it was like 7 or 8 other people, and then the next day it was me and 2 other people for the same job. I'm not pursuing that job just because I noticed that position was more or less a fake job in essence. I call it a fake job, and it was definitely a real job, but it was with a company that had some sketchy business practices and seemed a little too good to be true. And I interviewed for a similar job 3 or 4 years ago, and it just didn't seem right at that time, so I just didn't pursue it. So I'm not pursuing that position. I know it sounds crazy. I don't have a job, so why would I be turning down a job? But I don't feel like it's in my best interest to work for a company that just has poor business practices. It won't look good on me whenever I go to apply for another job down the road. So that's kind of why I'm steering away from that. Okay, so next eyeshadow that we're going to be dipping into, let's use the Morphe E17 brush, and we're going to be dipping, I don't think I've ever showed this palette on my channel before. This is what the story looks like here. You got some cool little like mauve-y tones here, so these three would be more of the mauve-y tones. You can't really see this one, but it's more of like a darkish purpley brown. And then you have these beautiful greens here. This is more of like a dark hunter green. It's more of like an army green, and then this is kind of like the nice shimmery, like bright green. And then you just have the basic black, which is perfect. And then you have the silver color here, which kind of is like nice for like inner corner, or like if you want to spruce up the brow bone here, you can. And then there's just the warm neutral shade. It's more of like an eggshell color is what I kind of want to describe it as. So I'm going to be dipping into that shade Fluffy, which is that, sorry, I'm going to put that down, that shade Fluffy, which is that mauve brown color. And so again, I'm using the Morphe E17 brush, and I'm going to be going into the outer corner here just to further develop that, like, you know, neutral color that we're going to be doing here. So couple job interviews, kind of in the industry that I was in before, which, as I mentioned earlier, not something I necessarily wanted to be in, but given the climate of, you know, just the job market these days, that's kind of the only position that I'm going to be able to get, which, again, I didn't say I didn't like my previous job, but it wasn't necessarily the field that I wanted to be in. So a little bit about my background. I may have or may not have mentioned it before on my channel, but I went to Loyola University of Chicago for undergrad. I went there and got my business degree in sports management. And while I was pursuing my sports management degree, I got a job, or actually rather 2 jobs, with some major sports teams in the city here, and developed customer service skills. It was just a seasonal position at both teams, so I developed some customer service experience there, some risk management, you know, just general like stuff that you would expect working a game day at a crazy, you know, sports town like Chicago. So yeah, I got my undergrad degree in sports management, and then while I was working at my previous job, I got my master's in sports administration at Northwestern. So definitely doubled down on the whole sports thing. I worked at a law firm before just because I wanted to, you know, see if I wanted to go to law school, because my initial career objective was to become a sports agent, and I've talked with a few agents since then, and they've kind of informed me that the industry won't look how it currently looks in the next 5 to 10 years, and so it seems to me as though that agent career won't exist in the capacity that it does today. So that's kind of not a good place for me to be focusing all my energy. So I'm more interested in maybe going into talent relations. But how do we get there with just experience in admin? So I'm going to dip into the next color here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I plan to get there, just through my experience and career here. So again, dipping into that Slytherin palette, I'm going to dip into the shade Herb. It's that nice army green. I'm going to be using the Morphe M139 brush, and we're going to pack that shade just next to that shade Fluffy. So how I plan to like transition, I guess, from admin into sports. So there are a lot of ways I could go. Being an admin, I kind of got bored in my job there, and so I reached out to other departments at the law firm, and I worked with the marketing and event planning team, and I put together some amazing events for our company and the departments that I worked for. So I think that I have a really good knack for like event planning and marketing, like basic marketing, like social media postings and stuff, but especially for the event planning aspect. And so sports teams, they have obviously multi-departments as well. So I at one point I did apply for a job. I'm going to dip back in with that fluffy shade just to fix that outer edge there. At one point I did apply for a job that was a legal assistant within a team, and I got very far into the interview rounds, and then they just ended up going with somebody else, more than likely just because they were probably asking for less money than I. But I am imagining, or hoping at least, that I could get into the sports realm with my marketing background and my event planning background, or even just as an admin assistant if I could. But again, given COVID, it's kind of hard to get jobs in sports entertainment because those industries are kind of on hold right now. I mean, obviously sports is happening, but they're not having fans coming to the games, or at least not every team is having fans come to the games. And if they are, they're at a limited capacity. So in Chicago, we're having no fans at games. So jobs here are decreased. And other major industries where I would want to go to are the same thing. They're not having fans come. So I'm kind of not stuck. I don't want to say stuck. That sounds like a bad word. But I am kind of having to just deal with that and find a job elsewhere for the time being, which, again, I'm totally okay with that. Stuff happens. People are dealing with this pandemic as best as they can, and thankfully, so far, I haven't lost anybody in my family, but I do know people that have lost family members, and so me losing a job versus someone losing a loved one at, today's times, it's gonna, it's minuscule compared to that. So I am happy to be healthy, happy, alive right now, and, jobs, I'll find one. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So, I'm going to now dip into the next shade with the Morphe 506 brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Ivy. And I know this is like a fluffy brush, but as I mentioned before, the shade Ivy here, in the bottom left corner, on the screen probably is my bottom right, but bottom left corner is very shimmery. And so I don't want it to be too bright, just because, again, this is a job interview, and so you don't want to look like a crazy person, but you definitely want to stand out a little bit. So we're going to pop that in the inner corner. We're just going to drag that shade out into that lighter green. So now that looks a little crazy, but I will go back in with that shade Herb and just kind of better transition the shade Ivy into Herb. Now yesterday I did an orange look, which I really liked that too, because it's like a good fall eye vibe, right? But it's also like a very nice neutral kind of look to it too. So I was definitely in love with my look yesterday, and I did it with a nice cocoa brown lip. So it kind of not muted the look, because obviously I don't want that to happen, but it kind of leveled it out, right? So I had like a brighter orange on my inner corner, but at the end it was basically like this too. It was like a brighter orange in the corner, and then like a little bit of a darker orange, and then like a lighter brown here, and then again that same stone color underneath. So it kind of brought the look together for a job interview. So like I said, I mean, you want to stand out, but you also don't want to look like a crazy person. So yeah, like I said, I have been applying for jobs, I've been putting myself out there, and you know what? I'll also say this too. I am not afraid to go back to a part-time job, or I'm dipping back in with that shade Herb. I'm not afraid to go back down to a part-time job or a few part-time jobs if I have to. Like I said, I've worked 3 or 4 jobs before, and that was while I was in college and going to school. So I don't I don't see the shame in, going back to that. I just don't. I think people have to do what they have to do. If you have to pay your bills, you have to make loan payments like I do. Like, you have to, make lemons out of lemonade. And so there are plenty of places around here that are essential businesses that are looking to hire, and I'm willing to, do my fair share and work what I have to work. Okay. So basically right now I'm just looking for admin jobs, in legal or wherever I can actually find an admin job. And so far it's been going really well. I have a couple of staffing agencies looking at jobs for me as well, so it's pretty helpful. And I'm looking just myself if I can as well. So, I think overall things are going okay. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to cry about it. Stuff happens. Life happens. It is what it is. So, it is all right. Now, I'm going to dip in with the smudge brush from Sephora into that shade Pebble. And and that's from the Slytherin palette as well. I'm going to just lighten up the brow bone here, just to make it look a little bit more defined. Okay. I think that looks pretty nice. And now because we're doing a Zoom interview look, I'm not going to do under eye. The orange look that I did yesterday, I did it last week on a little date with my boyfriend, and I just thought it was too dramatic for a job interview. It definitely looks gorgeous if you're going out, but you don't want to do something that's too crazy for a job interview over Zoom. So yeah, that was not what I wanted to do. So yeah, I won't do under eye today. I definitely would if this was a regular day. I mean, well, this is a regular day. Who am I kidding? But if this was like a going out look, right? I mean, this could easily transition to a going out look. So like after a day of Zoom interviews or whatever, you could go back in, do some touch-ups, and then what I would have done is I probably would have grabbed another palette that I have. I actually bought the Hocus Pocus palette, so I may do a video for you guys next week. As I said, I would grab the Hocus Pocus palette. It has a couple green shades in there, and I would definitely darken this up down here. They also have a shimmer shade in that palette, as well as this palette too, but I would probably, go in the inner corner and just darken this up down here, and just kind of really smoke it out for like a going out look. So this is transitional as long as you don't do like an under eye look if you really can't. So again, I'm just gonna transition this a little bit better just because I feel like it looks like it starts and it stops, so we don't want that. So let's transition this side a little bit better. Okay, so see, I mean, I think it looks good for Zoom. I mean, this camera lighting and stuff like that is not that great, but it's a nice light and up shade here, a little bit darker, and then it goes into a little bit darker here. So I kind of like that. I think just to like really bring it all together, I'm just going to dip back into that shade stone with that Morphe E27 brush again, and just kind of better buff out that shade Fluffy, just because it does look a little jagged. Okay. Again, I always feel like one eye looks totally different than the other, but that's life, right? What are you going to do? Okay. So I think this is done. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner off camera, and then I'm going to come back just because I tried a new mascara and I wanted to show you guys how it works and give my thoughts and review on it. So I will be right back, and then we'll have this look done. All right, give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so, I was gone for like 2 seconds, but I put on like this Staler liquid eyeliner, just nice and simple and easy. You don't want to do anything too crazy. So just a nice simple little flick of an eyeliner there. And then so I saw this thing on Yahoo News or whatever, that the L'Oreal telescopic mascara like looks like you put on falsies. And this is not the one that was in the actual like article or whatever, but it is a waterproof one, so that's why I bought this one, because it was waterproof. And since I've been crying throughout the day because my eye just keeps dripping. I don't know what my deal is, but like the past couple months, like my eyes have just been watering for no reason. So I wanted to make sure that my eyeliner won't, or my mascara won't run if I start dripping out of my eye. So I bought this, and I actually think it does a really good job. It definitely pushes up your eyelashes a lot. I'm going to put this on here, and I'll just show you guys how it looks. So obviously I do the little blink into the brush scheme, and I mean, it's kind of hard, but if I really try to get close to the camera, you can see like how long they make my lashes look. And I always do a little bit underneath my eye just because I think it makes your eyes look a little bit bigger if you put lashes underneath. So I mean, you probably can see, camera's not that great, but you can see like the difference between these lashes and these have nothing. So I like this mascara a lot. It does a really good job. The only thing I don't like is I feel like the brush doesn't look like it's covered a lot, but I mean, obviously it is. It's doing its job. It just, for some reason, it doesn't look like there's anything on there. So that's one thing I'm like, about, is that it doesn't look like there's a lot of payoff on, or product on the brush, but there clearly is something. So, oh no, I have a goop in my eye. Let's see if I got rid of that. Okay, there we go. So, I think that this looks really nice. Sorry, I'm like doing like mascara face talk. Okay. So I think it looks nice. I think it looks, again, neutral, but with a little bit of like a pizzazz. Oh, and when you close it, you're supposed to like close it like this and turn it. I don't know why that's like a thing, but that's what the description tells you when you look it up online. So, so yeah, I think this is a nice neutral look with a little bit of a punch up, just to like, again, like I said, stand out a little bit on those Zoom calls, and especially if you're going to be on a Zoom call with you and like 5 other interviewees. So, again, it's a good way to stand out. I think it looks nice. Now, let's see here. I did purchase KKW lip products again. I know at one point I had a shade and it just fell apart and kind of like melted and just became non-usable. But I figured I would try it again just because she has some really nice neutral shades. So, gotta give it a shot again. So, I purchased the KKW Beauty Lip Liner in the shade Nude 2.5. And it's a really like nice dark brown. And that's what I used yesterday for my lips too. But I'm going to try it with a different lipstick today. So we'll see how that turns out. And again, this is, they're both KKW Beauty products, but it's just a different tone than I used yesterday. And I didn't think I would like brown lips on me just because, I don't know, I think brown just looks bad. Like, it's all stuff in my head, right? But I thought at one point that brown just looked bad, especially on me. But I think it actually works really well, because I do have like olive undertones to my skin. I have hazel eyes, so I kind of have like those facial tones for brown, but I don't know what my deal was. So yesterday I used the KKW Beauty cream formula in the nude formula, the nude cream formula. I can't speak today. In the shade 7, and I'll just show you guys. Like, you can tell it's really deep brown. Why would this do anything? I don't know. But it's like a really deep brown, and like I said, I didn't think this would look good on me, but it actually does do a really good job, and I think it looks really nice. So today, instead, I'm going to use the cream formula in the KKW Beauty, and I'm just realizing now, I thought I purchased a nude, but it looks like they gave me a pink. let me check my email because I definitely purchased a nude and not a pink. But I did take this item, and I don't think I have much of a choice, and I'm not about to go all the way back there on my scooter. Yeah, I did purchase a nude. Well, we're here in my video doing this now, and I just realized that there was a mistake. So, I guess the only thing I can do is use this. I mean, it's not like I don't like it, I like it. But, oh well. So, here we go. So this is the KKW Beauty in Cream Formula Pink Line Shade 4. We're just going to see how this looks. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, but this is not what I asked for. So, Ulta, you screwed up. And this wasn't the online store, this was pickup in store, which is why I said I don't want to ride my scooter all the way back down there. But yeah, they fucked up. Oops, I mean, they messed up. They messed up. Well, we're here now. We have to live with it. I don't think it looks horrible, but this is definitely not what I was going for. I guess I'll have to go back and actually purchase it in person because this is not what I asked for. So, oh well. Yeah, I think this this is the look. I feel like this is supposed to be like a happy, like upbeat video, and I kind of like him. I was like, I lost my job. What am I gonna do? And I'm complaining about my lipstick, but it's fine, guys. I think overall this looks really nice. Actually, I will say this, that the pink undertone, or not the pink undertone because it was a freaking pink lipstick, but the pink lipstick and the brown lip liner kind of matches with that shade Fluffy and that shade Stone from the Morphe 350 2 palette. Is that correct? Whatever. So anyway, I do think it looks okay. It does go together. It's just this is not what I envisioned. But that's okay. We'll keep pushing through. So, sorry for the somber tone. I feel like this is the antithesis of what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Moral of the story here is, like I said, if you have not lost a loved one due to COVID, like I have not, but if you do know other people that have lost ones to COVID, keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, help them out as much as you can. I mean, obviously I know that you can't really, go and visit them or do anything like that, but, you have to realize that, especially me, losing a job is nothing compared to losing a loved one, and so, this is not the end of the world for me. I will find something different. I will find something new. Hopefully it'll be fun and exciting. And it could lead somewhere, that I never envisioned myself going. So I'm just on this wild journey and ride called life, and stuff happens. So that's kind of what I wanted to portray to you guys today. Stuff happens, life happens. You just have to keep pushing forward and keep going, to the next stage. So hope that this was a okay video for you to watch. Definitely not what I envisioned it to turn out to be, but like I said, nothing's ever what you imagine it to be. So it's alright, and I will see you guys on the next one. I have to do my hair now for my interviews today. But yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this, or at least could tolerate it. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. It will be Hocus Pocus themed, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, my Looky Loos. Alright, bye!